Chair, and good morning to everybody. Mr Lynch, if I can start with yourself first. You'd previously said that you'd no knowledge of, or knew nothing about the underwriting of the Renault deal with RTE, but as others have said, Noel Kelly has showed us the emails from Breda O'Keefe. Now, it's clear from what we've seen that you actually knew, but you told the committee that you didn't know. And I just want to quote back to your previous appearance at the committee. You said, "I also asked each individual executive board member to give me a guarantee that they knew nothing about the underwriting, which was given to you." Now, yeah. So you told us that the executive board knew nothing about the underwriting and that you knew nothing about the underwriting. So you misled this committee.
I didn't. I was, Deputy, with respect, completely truthful in everything I said. I was referring specifically to May the 7th, 2020, which is the verbal agreement between D. Forbes and Noel Kelly to underwrite. That's
too much of a comfort blanket for you to cling to. You knew exactly about the deal that was done to underwrite Renault deal and the payments involved. The tripartite agreement was not just about the Renault deal in year one, it was about the 3 top-up payments. And you distinctly told our committee that I've asked each individual executive board member to give me a guarantee that they knew nothing about the underwriting, which was given to me.
That is correct. And again, Deputy Munster, I would say I was referring to May the 7th, 2020. In terms of the 3 payments, let's remember, in terms of the substantial issue here, is payments were made directly to Ryan Tubridy and they were not declared by RTE.
But in that email, I don't actually give your answers any credence, to be honest. No, I just want to clarify something.
Yeah, you clarify that.
Yeah.
Can I just go back
on the 20th of February, right, in the correspondence, we made good progress on what the commercial agreement would be, and we agree to one in Dublin, one in Dublin, and with a side letter to underwrite this fee for the duration of the contract. That contract was covering the 3 payments of 75.
Back to Mr. Lynch.
Yeah, I think the question is, Deputy Munster, was that reference to covering the 3 payments, which would imply it's 1 year, or as per Mr. Kelly's note, and we have to note the fact that Mr. Kelly was looking for the underwriting, is it actually referring to the 5 years? In terms of the letter that was supplied by Mr. Kelly, it does refer to the 5 years.
Mm-hmm. And that would
correct. Yeah. That would not be signed. He would not sign the other elements of this agreement until he had that side letter. And there was deep unease about the fact that we hadn't seen what is the commercial arrangement.
Whether it was signed or not. Sorry, yes. Whether it was signed or not, you went ahead and paid those 3 payments.
Correct, and
yes.
RTE paid them.
Whether it was signed or not is totally irrelevant. You agreed, as in the copy of this correspondence, it was agreed to underwrite the contract in its entirety. All 3 payments.
I have to clarify that, Deputy Minister.
You told us that I've also asked each individual executive board member to give me a guarantee that they knew nothing about the underwriting, correct, which they did. But they did know, and you had to know. And you came in here, and Mr. Barkhurst, with all due respect to yourself,
Deputy Munster, can I have an opportunity? Can I have an opportunity to reply?
Back in for a moment.
Thank you. So, I stand over exactly what I said. I was referring specifically.
You've misled the committee.
I did not.
Look at. No wonder the frustration here. Sorry, could I just...
my colleagues can have an opportunity to respond. These are very serious allegations being put to them.
Waffle, that's all it is.
No, it's not. It's a response to your question, Deputy.
Sorry, folks, just hold everything for a second. No, try and answer concisely.
I will.
But I also want you to give them the opportunity to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, try and keep the answer. So just continue for a moment.
Yeah. There are 3 simple things here. One is I was referring specifically to what underpins this entire agreement, which is the agreement on May the 7th, 2020. 2, RTE made 3 payments to Ryan Tubridy, which was absolutely incorrect. Those payments should have been declared. 1 was the credit note and 2 came from a barter account. RTE should have declared those payments. So I've been completely consistent in that.
That's not the point. You knew about the 3 payments. You knew that the agreement was underwritten by RTE. You told us that you spoke to your senior executives, you asked them to give you a guarantee that they didn't
did.
know about it, you accepted that, so you knew about
I
it,
did.
your senior executives knew about it, and you misled this committee.
I asked each of the senior executives, did they know that this deal was underwritten by a verbal agreement between Noel Kelly and Dee Forbes?
You knew and you misled this committee.
I did not mislead
You did
this
mislead
committee.
this
I
committee.
did not mislead this committee.
Well, it's the opinion of the majority of members, and we've sat through it all. Mr. Barkhurst, you just said a few minutes ago that you've confidence in your Assistant Director General. I mean,
Chair, with respect, I don't think the committee have made a decision on any issue because we shouldn't do that before proceedings. So I just think that.
yeah, but just to,
just think we should
from what
be
you've
careful
given
about
us,
that.
we've had to extract
Just continue with the
information.
question.
And this actually shows that you have actually knew about it. The senior executives knew about it because of the email sent on the 20th of February, and you told this committee last week that you didn't, and your senior executives didn't.
Again, I'll clarify. In the statement we released, it was quite obvious that negotiations were ongoing, things were going in and out of this deal. This deal was contractually underwritten on May the 7th, 2020, and that is the clarification that I sought from each member of the Executive Board. In relation to the payments, 3 payments were made to Ryan Tubridy, 1 based on a credit note and 2 from the barter account. When these payments were made, because it was a legal obligation on RT to make the payments, we should have declared them. And we have put our hands up in terms of that, how we've compiled the figures and published the figures. RTE published inaccurate information about its top earner.
And we were given inaccurate information in relation to who knew and who didn't know. And that's clear as mud. Mr. Backhurst, you had said there a few minutes ago that you have confidence. I'm sure you're not going to retract that instantly, but what I'm talking about is instilling confidence in the public. And from a lot of what we've witnessed over the last number of weeks, personally, I wouldn't be very confident moving forward unless there's serious changes, because transparency and our accountability is what the public want. And even from this conversation here now, I do not see that we've got accountability. I have just showed emails, repeated what was said at the last meeting, and the response is as weak as be damned. Now, and just in relation to, I wanted to talk about consequences. As I said it, so I know the clock's ticking. Consequences, and I think if the people of Ireland hear after the scandal or something, lack of corporate governance, and if they hear lessons have been learned once more, I think you'll hear them all scream in unison with frustration, right? So what people want to see is what the consequences will be. Now, in relation to the executive boards that are either resigned, jump ship, or the ones that have been stepped aside, and what we've heard over the last number of weeks, they're going to be heading into the sunset with their exit packages. Would there be a case where in many of those executive board members where there could be a bonus due but hasn't yet been paid? No. Well, when it comes back to consequences, what consequences will those people face? And I'm talking about people that raised false invoices, people that engaged in a separate commercial deal and underwrit that separate commercial deal, which they had absolutely no business doing, that cost the public purse a substantial amount of money, that concealed those payments through a barter account that went to Astus and then to another CMS account, and the whole thing designed, as the Chair said, designed to deceive. What consequences will there be other than those people saying or being told you need to step aside but you go off with your pension? Where's the consequences? Because people are sick of the lack of accountability in corporate governance in this state, and once and for all people want to see consequences, not a slap in the wrist and go off with your pension.
Deputy, there have been consequences. Half of the executive team have been stood down or left the organisation. So that is a consequences, that is accountability.
Step down, move aside, you mean? But
They have resigned or left the organisation.
right, and other members of the executive board that have been taken off the executive board, they still employed?
I'm sorry, who are you
Well,
referring?
if we talk about, say, for example, Mr Collins
Yes.
there.
Yes, yeah, Mr Collins is still, and he's here today, and I'm pleased he's come along today, and he's working with us very closely.
But Mr
Absolutely.
Collins, in fairness, knew absolutely nothing. He was oblivious to all of this going on. And just, you know, when you look back...
Time up, Deputy.
Yeah, when you look back, he had said previously, when we were questioning about the payments, he had said that he wouldn't have known about it because he wouldn't have known, and the reason he wouldn't have known it was either concealed or hidden. But then when I said, well, the person that processed those invoices and raised those false invoices is sitting beside you, which was the commercial director, Mr Collins then responded to me and said, she's not obliged to report to me. So where's the oversight? Where's the oversight between the commercial and
Deputy,
the barter accounts and the public funds?
You're 100%.
It's madness.
It is madness. You're 100% correct about this, and we've already taken action about the barter account, and we'll take further action about it to make sure there's absolute transparency, accountability every year on that.
Thank you.
We're making structural changes. There are changes going ahead, and they're happening right now, and some of them have happened already, and people have paid a high price for a marginal involvement in some of these things, to be honest with you.
Just to make a quick
Deputy
observation,
O'Connor.
just to Mr Backhurst, I think it's fair to say he'll be judged on delivery and the speed of that delivery
I
and
judge
change, and that
myself on,
goes
I would
right
judge
across.
myself on delivery, and I'm happy to be judged on delivery.